and where this is going and how people can get involved in thepatriots.us.
Okay, well, we're an organization that is all across the political spectrum, and we want a peaceful revolution to restore the republic. The way things are going, they're heading us toward violent revolution, and we don't want that. So the only way to have a peaceful revolution is to make sure that enough people in the military and law enforcement understand what's at stake, understand what their oath means, and wind up on our side, the side of the people, not the side of a few crazies in the government that tell them to do something stupid like round us up and throw us in FEMA camps. So that's in the short term, but we have to have a long-term solution to bring about this peaceful revolution, an electoral solution. And so we're asking all of our chapters to groom candidates to run in both the Democratic and Republican primaries for Congress. We eventually have to vote out all of the members of Congress that are not on side of the people. And, you know, the number that are on the side of the people and following the Constitution are very few. I mean, we've got Ron Paul, Dennis Kucinich, Alan Grayson, you know, just a very few. But if your particular representative is one of the vast majority that's on the take and supporting the giant corporations and the global terrorists that want to take over our country and that are grabbing it now, if that's the case, then you have to vote them out. We have to vote out every incumbent that is not one of the handful that is really trying to serve the people. And to do that, we can no longer just go to the polls as Greens or Libertarians or Independents or write-in candidates. We have to take over the Republican and Democratic parties from within because the system is stacked in their favor. And so that's what we're trying to do. And our members of the Patriots, members of our chapters, are going to be running for Congress as Republicans and Democrats. Hopefully we get a few of them running in 2010 and a lot more in 2012. And see what we can do. Then we're going to hold their feet to the fire when we get somebody in and make sure that they don't wind up on the take like everybody else. And we demand the changes, the real changes that we need in this country.
And there's massive, to interrupt, massive grassroots concern and involvement, and people are really getting off the bench now. And so now is the time for the Campaign for Liberty, for your organization, for Oath Keepers, for everybody, for the listeners of this broadcast, for We Are Change, for Info Warriors, to get the word out like the life of this country depends on it, because the global takeover is happening right now. And I do want to just have you continue, but I wanted to throw this out for military, for police, to get their concern about the fact that they're being openly trained to take on the American people. Either your concerns or what you've witnessed. We'll cover it all. But let me give that toll-free number out to military and police and others only. The phones are wide open for you. 1-800-259-9231. 1-800-259-9231. And here's that number again. If you're driving along in your squad car or you're on leave and listening, 1-800-259-9231. Please continue, Dr. Bob Bowman.
Yeah, well, we eventually have to take over the government so that we have a government that follows the Constitution, honors the truth, and serves the people. Those are essential ingredients of a populist government, a government that will be, you know, as Lincoln said, for the people. And we certainly don't have that now. We have a government by and for the corporations and the billionaires, and we have to get away from that. And once we do, then we can demand an end to the corporate wars, cut off all the funding, bring our troops home from all the 150, 170, 180 countries they're stationed in around the world. Give the bases back to the home countries and use our military only for protecting our borders and our people. That is their constitutional mission. That's their only constitutional mission. And if we make that one change in military policy to eliminate the mission of protecting the global financial interests of multinational corporations, we can greatly enhance our national security and simultaneously reduce the defense budget by 80%. Now, that's a step toward fiscal responsibility, and I think it's worth thinking about. That's just one change that can be made when we get a government that follows the Constitution, honors the truth, and serves the people.
And let's be clear. We're not talking about just status quo. Are people going to stand up? Are they going to get involved? Are they going to say no to the current corruption? The way tyranny works is it only gets worse and worse until you stop it and then reverse it. And so we are going down the slippery slope here very, very, very fast right now. And the time is up. I mean, in your educated opinion, former head of Star Wars program, Air Force colonel, researcher, looking at history, looking at what's happening, looking at what the people running our government have done in other nations, do you have any doubt that they're attempting to set up a open, oppressive, hot, a despotic system? By hot, for those that don't know, no longer just a cold, creeping tyranny, but an aggressive, jackbooted, in-your-face tyranny?
No, they're certainly heading in that direction. There are elements, and again, I think they're in the minority. They're certainly a small minority of the population, but unfortunately, they seem to be in the majority in Washington, D.C., and this small minority certainly has control of major elements of our government, and we need to cut those strings. We need to get big money out of politics. We need to take our government back so that it starts serving us again. And besides ending the wars, we also must demand that we get the return of our full constitutional rights, that we do away with the Patriot Act, the Military Commissions Act, and all the other acts and executive orders that have tried to take away our constitutional rights. And by the way, all of those acts are unconstitutional. Congress does not have the power to take away the rights that are given us in the first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights. They can't take those away by just passing a law. They have to pass an amendment to the Constitution, get it ratified by the states. Of course, that hasn't happened, and that won't happen. So we don't have to follow the Patriot Act. We don't have to follow the Military Commissions Act. Those things are totally unconstitutional.
All right, Dr. Bob Bowman, I was about to go to some calls. We had some concerned military people on the line, and they hung up. Again, we can always load the phones with the people on any issue, except sometimes I specifically want certain people to be able to call in. Former military that's concerned, current military, people that have been involved in these drills. For those that just joined us, U.S. military is training with police nationwide to take on the Tea Parties. They're brainwashing police that the Tea Parties and returning veterans are going to attack them with guns, and they're claiming that we're white supremacists. It's all mixed in, and the military did leak these documents. The military admits they were doing these drills. So the good news is the military is concerned and is leaking these. But I want to get people's take on this. 1-800-259-9231. I mean, don't tell me that our military and our police are so cowed listening out there, that you're so afraid of the NSA that you're not going to call in and tell us you're concerned. The government's main focus in the real drills and preparation isn't just for the American people and Tea Party folks and in the fetters. It is for gun-owning veterans who have military training. That is in both the drills held the 23rd and 26th. Okay? And this is part of NLEO 10 going on, where NLEO 9 admitted they're using foreign assets in the drills, foreign troops in these drills to go up against you. This is the high treason. This is serious what's going on all over the country. That's what the staged terror attacks are about. That's what this whole system is about. And we've got mainstream media claiming the Oath Keepers are treasonous. This is fully disgusting. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting. Let me just read what Oath Keeper stands for. We will not obey any order to disarm the American people. We will not obey any order to conduct warrantless searches of the American people, their homes, vehicles, papers, and effects, such as warrantless house-to-house searches for weapons, as you saw in Louisiana. Number 3, we will not obey any order to detain American citizens as unlawful enemy combatants or to subject them to trial by military tribunal. We will not obey orders to impose martial law or state of emergency or a state on a state or to enter by force into a state without the express consent of the invitation of the state's legislator or governor.